During his successful journey, Mike Tyson made three major decisions that ended up ruining his career. In the world of boxing, few names echo as loudly as Iron Mike Tyson. How did fame affect Mike's mind? How did he lose a $600 million fortune? Why isn't he considered the greatest of all time?
About it tests you. It tests you and see how much of this you can take before you say, let's just be finished with this. You know what I mean? It wants to show you something. It wants to see how much you can take.
Once the youngest heavyweight champion in history, a ferocious fighter with a knockout punch that sent shockwaves far beyond the boxing ring. But behind the glory, a storm was brewing. A tale of a titan's fall as rapid as his rise. How did this unstoppable force find himself on a path of self-destruction? Today, we delve into the story of Mike Tyson, the powerhouse, the controversies, and the moments that marked the decline of a legend. Tyson, an embodiment of power and youth, burst onto the boxing scene with an unmatched ferocity. His early career was a spectacle of sheer dominance, an unbroken string of victories that seemed to herald the arrival of boxing's greatest heavyweight. But behind the explosive knockouts and the championship belts, there were signs of a brewing tempest, hints of a hidden vulnerability that would soon emerge into the limelight. In our journey through the highs and lows of Tyson's career, we will uncover the pivotal moments that led to his downfall. From the heights of global fame to the depths of personal and legal turmoil, this is more than just a story of a boxer. It's a tale of a man fighting against his own demons, in and out of the ring. Our story begins in the gritty gyms of Brooklyn, where a young Mike Tyson, with fire in his eyes, embarked on a journey that would redefine heavyweight boxing. Under the tutelage of the legendary Customado, Tyson wasn't just training to be a boxer, he was being molded into a living, breathing weapon of the ring. Tyson's rise was meteoric. With a string of early knockouts, he sent a clear message to the boxing world. He wasn't just there to compete, he was there to dominate. In 1986, at the tender age of 20, Tyson achieved what many thought impossible, becoming the youngest heavyweight champion in history. Tyson's style was unlike anything the boxing world had seen, a combination of blistering speed, devastating power, and an animalistic aggression that seemed to overwhelm anyone who dared step into the ring with him. He wasn't just winning fights, he was annihilating opponents, cementing his place as not just a champion, but a phenomenon.
There are few things as exciting in sport as new talent that is clearly brilliant. These days, the man whose brilliance is clear to anyone who's seen him is named Michael Tyson. He's a 19-year-old heavyweight who's had 14 fights, won all 14 of them by knockout, 10 of those scored in the first round.
Mike Tyson in the 80s wasn't just a boxer, he was a force of nature. His impact on the sport was seismic. He brought a level of excitement and fear that was almost palpable every time he stepped into the ring. But even as Tyson stood at the pinnacle of his career, basking in the glory of his unprecedented success, there were challenges brewing on the horizon. Challenges that would test not just his skill and strength, but the very core of his being. As we continue our journey through Tyson's life, we will witness the emergence of trials and tribulations that would shake the foundation of his world. What happens when the invincible meets the inevitable? February 11th, 1990, a date that will forever be etched in boxing history. On this day, Mike Tyson, the seemingly invincible heavyweight champion, stepped into the Tokyo Dome to defend his title against James "Buster" Douglas. Little did anyone know, this fight would mark the beginning of Tyson's downfall. Now, the fight was seen as a mere formality, another stepping stone in Tyson's reign of dominance. But Douglas, an underdog with everything to prove, had other plans. From the opening bell, it was clear that this was not going to be a typical Tyson fight. Douglas, fighting with the memory of his recently passed mother fueling his resolve, stood toe-to-toe with the champion. In a stunning display of skill and heart, Douglas did the unthinkable. He not only survived the early onslaught of Tyson, but also took control of the fight. And in the 10th round, the world watched in disbelief as Douglas landed a flurry of punches that sent Tyson to the canvas for the first time in his career.
Yourself, James "Buster" Douglas, the new undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, knocking out Mike Tyson in Tokyo in the 10th round. His mama coming in was shocked the world, although afterwards Douglas said he didn't really shock himself by winning the fight. We have some pictures of Tyson's reaction after he lost that fight. And here he is heading, obviously dazed, look at his left eye practically closed, heading dazed to his locker room.
The defeat was more than just a loss of a match. It was the shattering of an aura of invincibility. Tyson, the unbeatable Titan, had fallen. This defeat would start a chain reaction, unraveling the tightly wound tapestry of his career.
In an amazing, shocking upset. I think the biggest heavyweight upset since a young man named Cassius Clay beat Sonny Liston in 1960.
What went wrong for Tyson in Tokyo? Was it overconfidence, a lack of preparation, or a sign of deeper issues yet to surface? As we peel back the layers of this pivotal moment, we begin to see the cracks in the armor of Iron Mike. Now we delve into the tumultuous period that followed this historic upset, a time marked by personal strife and legal battles that would further challenge the once undisputed champion. In the wake of Tokyo's seismic upset, the boxing world was left questioning. Was this just a stumble for Tyson or the beginning of an irreversible decline? The man who once seemed larger than life now appeared vulnerable, his path uncertain.
You have to understand this. Boxing's like this game of life. I got beaten by Buster, right? I suppose I let that discourage me.
The loss to Douglas was more than just a physical defeat. It struck a psychological blow to Tyson's once unshakable confidence. The question on everyone's lips was simple, yet complex. How would Iron Mike respond? Would he rise again, proving this defeat a mere fluke, or had the king truly lost his crown? The ring was no longer just a battleground for titles. It had become a stage for redemption, a test of character and resilience. The fall from grace was not just contained within the ropes of the ring. In 1992, Mike Tyson faced a significant legal battle that would further mar his already tarnished reputation. Convicted of violating a woman, Tyson's image as a champion was overshadowed by a new, more disturbing identity. This was not the Tyson that the world knew in the ring. This was a man facing the consequences of his actions, far removed from the cheers and the glory of his boxing days. Sentenced to 6 years in prison, Tyson's journey took a dramatic turn from the heights of sports stardom to the depths of a prison cell. The conviction and subsequent imprisonment marked a significant pause in Tyson's boxing career. It was a period of reflection, of loss, and of missed opportunities. For a man who had once dominated the world of boxing, these years represented a stark contrast, a time of introspection and personal reckoning. Released on parole after serving 3 years, Tyson emerged into a world that had moved on without him. The landscape of boxing had changed, and Tyson found himself fighting not just to reclaim his title, but to rebuild his life and his legacy. And the most impressive thing is that even in prison, Mike Tyson continued to subscribe to our channel and watch our videos. So don't waste time and subscribe, you too. What does a fallen champion do when the odds are stacked against him? Let's see Tyson's tumultuous return to the ring and the challenges he faced in his quest for redemption. Do you know what champions have in common? Tyson's time in prison was a moment when he reflected a lot and changed many habits to turn his life around. We've gathered the atomic habits that great boxers have and that you can use to transform your life into an ebook. Look in the comments and start your transformation right now. The year is 1995. Mike Tyson, once the most feared man in boxing, steps back into the ring. This isn't just a physical return, it's a battle for redemption, an attempt to reclaim a legacy that had been tarnished by his time away from the sport.
Grateful that I'm just a cool guy, I'm a good person, I treat everybody nice. Right. I had the best 3 years of them. Listen, can I tell you something? That don't mean nothing when you don't have your peace, your stability and your balance.
Tyson's comeback was marked by a swift regaining of the WBA and WBC titles, a feat that echoed his former glory. But the shadows of his past were never far behind. Tyson's return was not just a sporting endeavor, it was a public spectacle, scrutinized by a world that had witnessed his fall, but not peace all the time. In 1997, Tyson faced Evander Holyfield in a rematch that would forever be etched in boxing infamy. In a moment of inexplicable rage, Tyson bit Holyfield's ear, an act that led to his disqualification and further vilification in the public eye. This wasn't the comeback that the world expected. It was a descent into controversy that overshadowed his achievements in the ring. The bite fight, as it came to be known, was more than a breach of sportsmanship. It was a symbol of a career spiraling out of control, a manifestation of the inner turmoil that Tyson could no longer contain within the confines of the ring. Tyson's troubles didn't end in the ring. His life outside of boxing was a whirlwind of legal issues and erratic behavior. Assault charges, financial woes, and struggles with addiction painted a picture of a man fighting battles on multiple fronts. As we journey through the tumultuous late 90s and early 2000s of Tyson's life, we see a pattern of a man grappling with the remnants of his former self. Now, we delve deeper into the decline of a champion. exploring the latter stages of Tyson's career and the personal battles that continued to shape his legacy. As we entered the new millennium, Mike Tyson's career, once defined by its unassailable dominance, had begun to wane. The explosive power and ferocity that had once defined Iron Mike seemed to be fading, replaced by a shadow of the champion he once was. Away from the ring, Tyson's life was unraveling. Mike Tyson's loss of his $600 million fortune is a story of excessive spending and financial mismanagement. At the peak of his career, Tyson was one of the highest-paid athletes in the world, but his lavish lifestyle led to his financial downfall. Tyson's spending habits were extravagant and varied. He spent millions on cars, jewelry, and mansions. He famously purchased 2 Siberian tigers for $140,000 and paid $125,000 per year for their trainer. Tyson also had a penchant for luxury cars, owning several Ferraris, Lamborghinis, a Range Rover, a Mercedes-Benz 500, and a limited edition Bentley Continental SC that cost $500,000. Financial mismanagement also played a role. Tyson was known to give expensive gifts to strangers and friends and struggled with managing his wealth. This was compounded by issues with promoters like Don King, whom Tyson sued for $100 million, claiming he was defrauded. All these events led Tyson to a shocking declaration of bankruptcy in 2003. Still in his turbulent life, another episode of being detained by the police. In 2005, during a visit to Brazil, Mike Tyson was involved in an incident with a local news channel's cameraman. According to reports, the cameraman, Carlos da Silva Melos, was pursuing Tyson, which led to a confrontation where Tyson punched him and damaged his equipment. This altercation resulted in Tyson being asked to appear in court. The incident highlighted Tyson's well-known volatility and his tendency to react aggressively when feeling intruded upon or provoked. In bouts against fighters like Danny Williams and Kevin McBride, Tyson appeared to be a mere echo of his former self. These were not the performances of Tyson that the world remembered. They were the efforts of a man struggling to hold on to a career that had once been his life. In the fight with Kevin McBride, Tyson announced his retirement from boxing. It was a decision that came not from a lack of talent, but from a loss of passion for the sport that had defined so much of his life. Injuries, personal struggles, and the toll of a tumultuous life had led Tyson to step away from the ring, closing the chapter on a storied career.
I'm just sorry I let everybody down. I mean, I just don't have this in my heart. I don't have that ferocity. I'm not an animal anymore.
Does that mean we won't see you fight again?
Yeah, most likely I'm not going to fight again. I'm not going to disrespect the sport anymore by losing to this caliber of fight.
This period of Tyson's life was marked not just by the decline of his physical abilities in the ring, but by a profound personal struggle. It was a time that tested his character, challenged his identity, and ultimately shaped the legacy of one of the most iconic figures in the world of sports. As the sun set on Mike Tyson's boxing career, a new chapter in his life began, one that moved beyond the confines of the ring to a journey of personal growth and self-discovery. Retirement didn't mean fading away for Tyson. He reinvented himself, appearing in movies, launching a one-man show, and even dabbling in the world of entrepreneurship. His transformation from a fearsome fighter to a multifaceted entertainer and advocate was a testament to his enduring appeal and adaptability. In the years following his retirement, Tyson has been open about his struggles with addiction and mental health, using his platform to advocate for awareness and change. His journey is marked not only by the trials he has overcome, but by his willingness to be vulnerable and honest about his past.
Those things worth it because Mike Tyson is still here, still standing.
I tell everybody, my flaws are my greatest assets. You know, I want to be up more than anybody wants me.
Mike Tyson's legacy in the world of boxing is undeniable. A once-in-a-generation talent, his influence extended beyond the sport, leaving an indelible mark on popular culture. His story is one of extraordinary talent, personal turmoil, and the relentless pursuit of redemption. Mike Tyson's life story is a poignant reminder of the complexities of fame and the human spirit's capacity for growth and change. From the heights of glory to the depths of adversity, Tyson's journey is a compelling narrative of resilience, redemption, and the endless quest for personal peace. As we close this chapter on the life of Iron Mike Tyson, we are left to ponder the legacy of a man who was much more than a champion in the ring. He was a fighter in the game of life, constantly evolving, always enduring. It's clear that his story is far from a simple tale of rise and fall. It's a narrative rich with lessons, struggles, and the relentless pursuit of redemption. Through every knockout and setback, through triumphs and trials, Tyson's life reminds us of the complex tapestry that is the human experience. His story is not just about boxing, it's about the fight within, the battle against one's own demons, and the quest for personal growth. What can we learn from the life of Mike Tyson? How does his journey mirror the challenges we all face in our own lives? As we reflect on his story, we find more than just a legendary boxer. We find a man who continues to evolve, to face his past, and to write new chapters in his extraordinary life. His story is a reminder that no matter the battles we face, the capacity for change and redemption lies within us all. Not only did Mike Tyson have difficulties and controversies throughout his life, if you want to understand why Floyd Mayweather is one of the most controversial and hated boxers of all time, watch this video we've selected for you. Until next video, and share your thoughts in the comments.